Hello there. Welcome to this episode of the Shieldio Guide, where I'll be going over the authorization bypass on low security within the damn vulnerable web application. This is again a red team only perspective because there is no detection for this, because this is a serious application weakness that just shouldn't really exist out there in the wild. And then to provide detection logic for it would just be, okay, look for any access requests to this page that aren't specifically authenticated, so that we're not even going to worry about that, because this is a serious vulnerability that should be fixed or remediated at source, as opposed to providing some cover for it. That being said, it only being a red team perspective, you're going to want to then deploy only the red team stuff if you have a damn vulnerable web application already, or you can use the prerequisites and then install one with 2 commands. Incredibly easy, incredibly simple. We, as always, will be looking from the basic browser first to be able to understand what this vulnerability might entail. So here we can see, since we logged in as the admin user, we have this authorization bypass page. However, if we log out and then log back in as another user, Smithy, for example, they are missing that page. So this is why it is critical to always be enumerating for different content within the damn vulnerable, well, within any engagement, really. Always be scanning. ABS. Here, having a propaganda, you'd see that within the vulnerabilities directory, as any of the users, you will be able to see that there is one that doesn't actually get listed on the main page list. So if we do replace index with vulnerabilities, this will then list the directories. One of these directories is the target for today, Auth bypass. So if we go there now, we then have access, and there we go. We can then view stuff that really only the administrator should be able to view. That is one method to be able to identify it. Another is in the command injection, you can just put that, and then that will also list all of the directories from the command injection vulnerability. So that's how you can tie these things together. Then yeah, just in the URL as it says there. I then wanted to understand a bit more how these things get generated. This, again, completely out of scope for the challenge itself, but just useful to know is that within this file here on the server, it has functions. One of the functions is checking, well, one of the switch statements is checking to see if you're the admin user, and if you are, then it'll show you this auth bypass. If you're not the admin user, in how that list gets generated, you don't see the auth bypass link. There were some, because it's doing loose comparison, there may have been some stuff that we could have done if we could edit the usernames and stuff to be able to bypass this. However, that's very much a rabbit hole and beyond the scope of this challenge. Like I said, this is relatively, well, very short one. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.